What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. And man, oh man, I can't get enough of this interview done by Matty GTV. And if you haven't followed or seen what his interview with Quincy Jones, I'd highly recommend you go and watch it. It's really good. And so, anyways, Real XRP Boy posted out a clip from this interview, and I'm telling you, it is really, really, really good. Um, so let's get right into it. Here we're gonna be talking about. Yesterday we talked about the potential of XRP. Today we're gonna be talking about, the utility and fundamentals of it in comparison to Bitcoin. Now, see what Quincy Jones has to say. This man is dropping some knowledge, like Real XRP Boy says.
You see in the crypto, a lot of what you see in the crypto space is a lot of speculation, a lot of people that don't really know why these technologies, a lot of dreams. See a lot of dreams, and I think a lot of people are going to get burned. And it's mostly because it just comes down to there needs to be a need for people to maintain the values of these. If not, it's just speculation. It's no different than I might as well be trading around a pet rock crypto. Or actually, me and a couple of guys in the office keep making a joke that we might try to launch a blockbuster bucks as a crypto, as just a meme coin, just for like shits and giggles.
Yeah.
But like, what's the difference between any other meme coin and Bitcoin if there's no fundamental demand for somebody that needs to use the underlying token? And that's like, I can already hear the Bitcoin matches going, but Grayscale bought Bitcoin and PayPal uses Bitcoin. And this thing, it's one of those things where it's like, just because they see an opportunity to make money in the short term doesn't equate to long-term adoption. If the point of them buying this coin is no different than them buying any other coin, then how do you know they're not just going to drop Bitcoin like a rock when it's no longer popular? You see what I mean?
And that's exactly what we've been talking about. What happens when there's regulation, or what happens when people see that the energy consumption is just not viable anymore. And in that case, you can just dump it out. It won't be popular anymore. People won't want it. And that price that you see of 30,000, 40, 50, 60,000, it can just drop to zero because there's no longer any value. It doesn't have any use case, any utility, any protocol that has value that brings or that solves real world problems. And here, Real XRP Boy posted this. This is from Bob Way, I believe. So if more people not want to buy XRP, but the market supply is fixed, the price will go up. Okay, and I showed in the video yesterday that he talks about the demand will go through the roof because now the central bankers are using it. And that's why it's so important to know what your asset's utility is. Because if it has utility, there'll come a point where the demand is really high. And then there's no telling what the price of it is. But we know that a price floor for XRP in terms of being used for settlement and replacement of the Nostro Vostro accounts could be anywhere from $100 to $270. So now that is just the beginning, I would say, of its use case in the real world, solving a real problem. Now we have this by XRP Boy again talking about a post by Hordor. And here it says, just like Tesla or Amazon stocks, if you knew a decade ago it would be worth this much, you would have a different appetite for it. If it's widely announced that XRP will be the reserve currency, do you think you would still be in queue to grab it at such prices? Pension funds with more than $1 trillion war chest will outbid everyone here in this forum for these XRPs. That's just it. We're very early on the adoption life cycle. We know XRP is going to literally own some of these high frequency use cases. If that's true, then XRP is going to take the number one spot. And when it happens, the prices won't wait around for the doubters to switch and buy it up. The price will change almost instantly. This is something I talked about yesterday. David Schwartz, and when he was talking to Brad Kimes in one of those clips, it's made its rounds before through social media. But anyways, this interview, um, David Schwartz told them if it was slow and steady, then a lot of people would jump on the train. But if if it happened really quickly, then the opportunity would be gone. So you know, just think about it in the sense of it's not out of the realm of possibility with this speculative idea that it could, switch overnight, flip overnight, or moon overnight. I know it's like a meme joke, like Quincy Jones said, but there's a real possibility to that. I'm not saying that it can happen, but we're in a speculative market. Everything here is speculative, but this idea you can't entertain because it actually really could be a real possibility. Now here we talk about the smart, or Quincy Jones talks about the smart contract platform. Take a listen.
Some of the stuff that's going on here is absolutely insane, and it's kind of crazy that people don't talk about these things. Mostly because it's like, people want to talk about blockchain adoption. You got blockchain adoption on the Corda platform right out in the open, and nobody's talking about it. You got XDC is what was it, 100 or 70 on Coin Market Cap or something like that? Like it's so far down. Yeah, it's so far. And that's the thing I find is absolutely crazy too. Because when I first started developing on these platforms, I looked at all the top ones everyone's looking at. I looked at Ethereum. I looked at Cardano. I looked at all those different coins. And actually, I find that crazy considering that Algorand and XDC are, in my opinion, really, really advanced smart contract platforms. Yet nobody talks about them. Yet everybody and their mother is talking about how smart they are getting into Cardano because it's going to be the ETH killer. But the smart contracts platform isn't live yet. So it's like
you don't even know. It might be slow. It might be
exactly. You don't even know what could be wrong with it. But people are already invested in the idea that it's going to be an ETH killer. Meanwhile, you've got Corda partnering with the Nasdaq and these central bankers and Microsoft and Intel, like these giant, these giant entities coming together and doing real world adoption.
And there you have it. I couldn't put it any better than he just did. And that's the truth. People are going ahead and investing in something that they haven't even seen yet, which is very true. But doesn't mean that there isn't money to be made in the short term. But anyways, moving on. Here we see this. Real XRP boy posted it. And this is very, very true. This guy said, one thing Bitcoin is not immune to is government. And which is very true. If government decides to regulate something, it can regulate it out of existence. That's what governments can shut down miners, shut down the exchanges, ban ownership of Bitcoin, ban retailers from accepting Bitcoin, and governments will annihilate citizens before relinquishing power. So government has the power to outregulate anything out of existence. Keep that in mind. And so we're in a very speculative market, and you got to know what you own. That's very, very important. I hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe. Comment below. What are your thoughts? As always, I like hearing from you. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.